Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. How are y'all doing today? This is our weekly reseller chat. If you're new here, I am loving life freely here on YouTube. I am a full-time reseller on Ebay Poshmark Mercari. I also do lives on Poshmark kids clothes, and you're going to be doing some women's and men's clothes as well. If you're new to the reselling community, I would love to say welcome to you. Welcome to this wonderful journey. It's a great time to be a reseller. We have some really fun topics that I have done some research on and have found, I hope to be helpful. I know anytime I do this research, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to share this because this is good stuff. And I have some interesting topics today. So stay tuned if you want to know what we're talking about this time. Okay, guys, so via other videos and research online and just looking at some things, you know how I like to get tidbits of what's going on in the community from other resellers and also do my own research. Sometimes you just type a topic and then something else pulls up and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? And oh my gosh, we got to do this. And there's always really, really interesting things going on in the reseller community. I like to try and switch it up throughout different, each week for different topics. So we're not just stuck on the same thing all the time. So I hope that that's been helpful. This week I have some surprising information, some good information, and hopefully some personal information that we'll talk about today. Let's start off with something that I did snatch up from another reseller in a video that I did not know about, but I'm glad that I know about because it's just crazy. Is apparently Patagonia is suing Nordstrom's. Tell me in the comments down below if you've heard about this yet. I know once one person puts out a video and other people are watching it, and then, the grapevine starts spreading about the information, right? This is fairly new as far as the article that I pulled up. It says Patagonia accuses Nordstrom of selling counterfeit items at the rack. Okay, so, and I am going to link, I have a few different things, articles that I'm going to be referring to. I will link all of them down below because some of the information we're just not going to have time to cover via like brands and different things like that, which is coming here in a minute. So I will link all of them down below so you can definitely read them at your leisure and it doesn't take up too much time on the video. We will just touch base and touch on some of these things here. Patagonia is suing Nordstrom for committing trademark infringement by allegedly selling thousands of counterfeit Patagonia merchandise items at the Nordstrom Rack stores after a year-long partnership ended. This federal lawsuit filed Tuesday in California District Court alleges Nordstrom Rack sold sweatshirts, t-shirts with Patagonia logos and tags that were not made by Patagonia. The lawsuit did not state how many Rack stores allegedly sold the counterfeit items. Patagonia brought this problem to Nordstrom's attention, requested that the company voluntarily recall the products or reimburse customers. The lawsuit stated Nordstrom has failed to recall these fake, mislabeled Patagonian branded products or even inform its customers that they purchased counterfeit or inferior fabrication and quality. This is kind of crazy. A Nordstrom spokesperson said Monday that the retailer is aware of the lawsuit and reviewing the matter. The Puget Sound Business Journal was first to report this lawsuit. Nordstrom was an authorized retailer in Ventura, California, based Patagonia for several years, but recently Patagonia decided not to renew the arrangement, according to the lawsuit. Patagonia did not respond to inquiries about when or why it decided not to renew the agreement. Nordstrom continued selling the clothes already in stock. Again, let me know in the comments below. Have you heard anything about this? Is this also new to you? Again, I just learned about this. It just kind of surprises me because I know Nordstrom Rack has been around for a very long time. Nordstrom's been around. Nordstrom is one of those basic, like Macy's, JCPenney's. Well, JCPenney isn't really much in business anymore either. I'm curious with this coming up about Nordstrom's. How many of you actually go into the Nordstrom's at the mall I don't know about you, but I just don't hardly ever go to the mall anymore. Honestly, even when I shopped for my family, the mall was not my first go-to. Unless there was a specific thing that I was looking for, but I didn't like go to the mall. Oh, let's go check things out. Now, I will say when I was younger and newer married, I'd go to the mall with friends if you want to go grab a coffee, or if you're kind of doing some Christmas shopping and you want to go grab lunch with a friend, or do you have a specific, category that you're looking for at a mall? How many of you actually go to the mall specifically for shopping, or is most of your shopping done online now? I'm honestly kind of surprised that Nordstrom did this, and I don't know how many people actually still shop at the mall. I don't know how many people actually shop online through Nordstrom. I don't even know if you can shop online through Nordstrom. If you can shop online through Nordstrom, I don't even know if that's an option. Nordstrom, honestly, is not my go-to for clothing. I do have, since being a reseller, I've learned more about their brands. I love Patagonia. I absolutely love their clothing. I think their clothing is amazing. But when I've purchased Patagonia, it's been through platforms, not through Nordstrom's. Or should I say Nordstrom? It's not Nordstrom's. So this is kind of surprising. Tell me in the comments below if you've heard anything about this. Let me know what you think about it. Do you like Nordstrom? Whether it's like Nordstrom brand, whether it's going online in the malls, or shopping via platforms. I know a lot of resellers who do lives. A lot of Nordstrom pallets are sold. Macy's and Nordstrom pallets are sold via lives. So it's going to be really interesting to me, honestly, after seeing this, how this might potentially affect Nordstrom sales as far as pallets, inventory in their stores, if this is going to affect how other sales do with this bit of news. I am curious to see if down the road this will affect them. Anywho, so I just thought I'd share that with you. Again, it kind of surprised me hearing it, and again, since we love Patagonia so much, I do hope Patagonia will still be sold in other places, because I know it's going directly through their site. It's probably super expensive. And again, a lot of us love Patagonia because the quality is just a really good quality. Whether it's a tank top or their jackets or just anything, it's always just really, really good quality. So I can totally understand why the Patagonia company is not happy about this. To sell fake offs is not okay. Okay. Before I dive into the longest portion of what I want to talk about, there are two other things I wanted to discuss. One is listing burnout, especially during slow times. I want to talk about kind of like how to organize and how to deal with listing burnout, how I kind of deal with it, because I'm telling you, I'm sure that we all agree that listing, especially if you list on a daily basis, like hopefully most of us do, to keep their algorithms and keep things flowing, right? It is not hard to get listing burnout. Even if you just list 5 items, depending on how you do your listings, or if you're doing 10, some people do more than that. Some people do 20 listings who do this full time. Some people who do that many listings a day hire it out. They do their photos. They send them off to somebody else who does their listings for them, so they don't deal with that listing burnout, and they pay somebody to actually just do their listings. Which is another topic too I kind of wanted to like inject in here in a second. So tell me in the comments below how you deal with listing burnout. I know for me, I do 10 listings a day right now, and I definitely have like a system of how I do my listings. I'm always tweaking and changing to try and improve things. Like recently, instead of taking my scale downstairs, after I'm done doing my photos, I actually weigh my items, and I have my weight in my photos so that all I have to do is look it up really quick instead of pausing and doing my scale thing downstairs and taking that back and forth between downstairs and upstairs. That's actually been working out pretty nicely. I don't include the weight of the item in the listing. I actually just look at my thing and then note it in my listing so that I don't have to stop and weigh it. It's just done. So I actually do weigh. It's like the last thing I do when I'm done doing my photos is I step over, I weigh it really quick, take a picture of it, move on. I know a lot of other people do that as well. The other thing too is yeah, we're talking about burnout on listings. Tell me if you hire doing your listings out. Do you hire a VA? Do you have a family member who does it for you? Or do you just have like a really good system? I know for me, it takes typically about 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on what I'm doing with my listings to, well, actually, that's probably been shortened now too because my husband and I are always tweaking and changing things, we just do. Now I take the photos, I load them up, and he actually arranges the photos for me. Then I go into that draft with those photos already done, finish my listings because it does take time for me to rearrange the photos, do the zoom in on certain things. So he's doing that for me on top of listing some of his hard goods that he does. So he's offered to do that for me, so I don't have to worry about doing that. So how do you accommodate for burnout when you're doing your listings? Do you just kind of bear through with it, especially during slow seasons? Because right now people are dealing with slower sales. I think part of it is due maybe just the time of the year. Part of it is due to the economy. Part of it could be due to not listing as much as you should. There are so many different reasons and factors why we could have slow sales. Some would say, I don't typically mention this because some people just get annoyed by it, but some people say that lives are actually causing slower sales on platforms. I personally don't think that's true, okay? I don't think that lowball offers is being inputted because of lives either. I got lowball offers way before lives were happening. And let me be honest here. We get lowball offers on eBay too. We also have slow times on eBay, and we don't have lives on eBay. So I'm going to be really honest and frank about this. I do not think that lives on the platforms is what's causing slower sales, because we're already getting lowball offers. Some people may say, well, I get more lowball offers now because they get things so cheap on lives. I can't say if there's numbers and proof on that. I don't know. All I know is that I got lowball offers before lives came. I get lowball offers on eBay and I deal with it, and eBay doesn't have lives. So honestly, I think lowball offers is just part of platform stuff. Because even Depop, Mercari, you can get lowball offers. There's no lives on there, guys. So for people to say that the lives that are going on Poshmark is causing so many lowball offers, I don't know that that's justified necessarily. And that's just my opinion. If you feel differently, I respect that. This is just my opinion because I've seen different platforms also do lowball offers. So if you disagree with me on that, I'm okay with that. Seriously, I'm okay with that. You have a right to feel the way you do about lives. Some people just can't stand lives. Other people, lives are a big part of their business as well as listing. I think you need to go where your business model works for you, and I think you shouldn't judge people. If people do listings, you shouldn't judge them if you do mostly lives. If you do a mix of listings and lives and that works for your business model, that's great. If you just do lives, I think that's great. I don't think we should judge anybody for how their business model works and what works for them and where they go to make their money for their families, right? We've talked about that in a previous reseller chat. So, but as far as lowball offers, yeah, I don't think that lives are the main cause for that. But we were talking about, just listing. So tell me again, I'm sorry if I'm doing a rabbit trail, I apologize. Things come in my brain and just like, oh, we should talk about that. But tell me in the comments below how you deal with just like the slowness of listing, It is easy because like we've talked about, it's like a lonely thing when you're just nosing in, and you're doing your listings. It does get monotonous. Out of all the things in reselling, I think honestly listing is the most monotonous thing. Even when you're doing your packaging, I think even that isn't as monotonous as doing listings, because packaging is actually pretty quick. It can take up time to do shipping. So some people do actually, hire that out sometimes. But I think honestly, listing is the most monotonous and burnout thing as far as reselling. That's just thoughts. I would love to know your thoughts. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is organizing your work area. I'm telling you, I'm looking at my work area right now. You guys can't see it because I got this tree behind me and it's just nice and clean and neat. But for the last couple of weeks, I'm going to be organized because I have so many kids clothes for my sales. I have other inventory that's been coming in, and I just really need to reorganize my studio. And between listing my YouTube and us outsourcing, since we have garage sales going on right now, I'm trying to get the time to do that. And then of course you have the house stuff, mowing the lawn, doing the dishes, doing all that just life stuff, right? So I still have yet to do some reorganizing. Plus I have another area in another room that I want to like reorganize and kind of manage some things for some lives that I want to do. There's just never enough time in the day to do everything, right? I mean, it's just, I look at my dishwasher sometimes, okay, I got to load these few things in the Rennet. And of course, you got to not just do the laundry for your reselling, but then you do laundry for your personal life. And then there's not just washing, just putting it away, right? And hanging things. And then, of course, you got to clean your bathroom. And, it's life. If you have kids that even, we don't have any kids that we're raising anymore. So it's just the two of us. And sometimes I feel consumed. So for those of you moms who have all of it that you do on top of jobs, oh my goodness, bless your hearts. It's just a lot. So organizing workspace, I really need to take some time to organize what I have up here, and just put in my brain how I'm tweaking and changing some things with my kids' clothes, how I'm going to organize that and make sure that it's productive up here. So when my husband and I don't walk in here, because when you walk into a messy room, your brain feels messy, right? It's like a brain fog. You just like walk in and it just doesn't feel clear. Versus if things are organized, you know where things are. It's just complete. It's you know where things, it's just organized. You walk in and you just feel like, okay, I can be productive, right? So I need to work on organizing my studio and getting it more functional. Again, I think I try to do this every couple months, but right now it just really needs to be done. Excuse me, we are going outsourcing on Friday, so I know Friday's not going to be an option because after we go outsourcing Friday, I have a live on Friday. And I have a live on Thursday, and I have a live tomorrow. So it's probably, hopefully, maybe going to be Saturday. And I try not to do anything business on Sunday at all. Just for my brain to just rest and not be thinking about business. I really try to just have that be no business at all. No listings, no cleaning, no organizing, no sourcing. I try to just have Monday or Sunday be just church. And then just my time, no matter how I relax. That's just what I do. Okay, on to the biggest topic of all, you guys. I was doing some research about brands that sell well on eBay. And then I thought, let's do Poshmark, let's do Mercari. Because those are the three main sites, eBay and Poshmark. And then a lot of other people do sell on Mercari. So this is the biggest part of the video that I'd like to go over. We're going to start with eBay. And I wanted to do this because honestly, I wanted to learn this too. We all know that each platform has brands that sell better than other platforms. Now, there are some brands that do sell well on both Poshmark and eBay and probably Mercari. But there are also differences in the platforms too. And I found it interesting and kind of surprising in some ways, some of the brands that sell well on some of these places. Now, I'm going to start off with eBay. And they actually have it broken down A to Z. Don't worry, like I said, I'm going to link it below so you can go through it. I'm not going to go over every single thing because it would take a while. But some of these surprised me. Adidas is trainers. Like shoes, with the trainers. All Saints. Tops and shirts. Asics. Again, tennis shoes that have trainers. That's A. Babur. Okay, you're going to have to tell me if you recognize some of these brands because I'm learning some brands here. Barbour. Barbour, coats, jackets, and waistcoats do well on eBay. Birkenstock, sandals, I think those do well anywhere. Bowden, I think, again, that does well. Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, I think Bowden just does well. Okay, Cath Kidston is the brand. Dresses, bags, purses, and wallets. Now, let me know in the comments below if some of these are new brands to you. I've never heard of Cath Kidston or Christian Louboutin. Like I said, I'm going to link it down below. You'll see it. Clark's does well. Boots, flats, heels, and sandals. That kind of surprised me because I knew Clark's could kind of do well on Poshmark, but I didn't think they did well on eBay. So this is really good to know. Crocs, sandals, do well. DKNY purses and wallets. That surprises me on eBay. I did not think DKNY was that popular of a brand on any platform. Doc Martens, boots, flats, and sandals. Dune heels. Echo flats. Fat Face. I don't know about that brand. I've never heard of it before. Have you guys heard of Fat Face before? Fit Flop, we already know. Obviously sandals. Fly London. Fossil. Now see, Fossil is one of those brands when I was a reseller. I remember before I was a reseller, Fossil was one of those things that, I really didn't like focus on the brand. And I've always thought Fossil was really cheap, but I've been watching Lavender Clothesline. And when she sees Fossil purses, she picks them up. And she sells just on eBay and then does a little bit of Facebook Marketplace. And so I've been kind of curious. And now here it's saying on eBay, Fossil bags, purses, and wallets do well on eBay. So I'm going to definitely be keeping an eye out on Fossil. Hunter boots we already knew. Hotter flats and sandals. Again, a brand I've never heard of before. It won't take long to go through this, honestly, because there's not a ton here. J Brand. J Brand jeans apparently do well. Joe Brown's dresses. J Brand jeans kind of surprises me. It must be the listing price they have it listed at. Because I have some J Brand jeans and honestly, they're not moving. And I was really disappointed with that because between Joe's jeans, J Brand, Madewell, Everlane, I've got them all because I heard that they're such great brands. And I don't have them listed high at like $35. And they're just not moving. Tell me in the comments below if those brands are moving for you. Everlane, Joe's jeans, J Brand, Madewell. Are those jeans moving for you no matter what platform they're on? I'm really curious if they're doing well for you. Kate Spade New York bags do well. Levi's coats, jackets, jeans. Louis Vuitton purses and wallets. Michael Kors apparently does well on eBay. Mulberry bags, purses, and wallets. New Balance. Nike, Not Your Daughter's Jeans, NYDJ jeans. Oasis. Some of these brands I'm not mentioning, you'll see it when you look at the link. I just don't even recognize. Ralph Lauren tops and shirts do well on eBay. Skechers. The North Face. Ted Baker is supposed to do well on eBay. Honestly, a lot of the Ted Baker that I bought, my prices just might be too high. I'll have to double check my comps again. But honestly, Ted Baker just isn't moving as quickly as I'd hoped it would. North Face. I do sell it, but it just doesn't sell high. North Face, I'm thinking like maybe $20. It just doesn't sell as well as it used to. Tell me in the comments below if your Ted Baker's moving and if your North Face still moves better. Again, for me, North Face is more like around $20. It doesn't sell for like $35. UGG, we already knew that. UGG does well. Vans. Zara apparently does well on eBay. Now, I've had Zara on Poshmark. I don't know how much. I do have some Zara listed on eBay, but I don't remember how much. I actually pulled away from Zara because I remember when I was very first starting out as a reseller, I bought a box from, this was back when it was still, oh my goodness, what was that company? Before it became Helpsy Source. I bought a Zara box and it just sat. A few pieces sold, but it just kind of sat. So to be honest, I've kind of pulled away from Zara, but now I'm wondering if I should reevaluate. Maybe it's just particular pieces of Zara, because I do know some other sellers who are doing very well on eBay and Poshmark. They do pick up some Zara, so maybe it's the type of pieces. So I'll have to reevaluate that. It does note here coats, jackets, waistcoats, jeans, flats, and heels. It doesn't say anything about blouses or tops, so that may be why. Abercrombie and Fitch shorts. Adidas, certain things in Adidas. Okay, so I'm kind of just going through. Oh, this is men's. So that was women's. This is men's. Adidas. Let me see. Some of the same things. Carhartt does well. Calvin Klein, swimwear. Some of the stuff is the same. See, Levi's. Lacoste. Lacoste can do well. I don't think Lacoste sells high, though. I think the max maybe on Lacoste is like 30, 35. Probably shirts is like 20, 25. So it may sell well, but it may not sell for high. Well, whether it sells, we're looking at things that do sell. The key is how well, what the price bracket is that they sell it at. So you may have these things listed, but they may be at a too high of a price bracket. We need to readjust Paul Smith. There's a few brands on here I'm honestly surprised, like Peter Millar. I do well with Peter Millar on men's clothes on eBay. And I don't see Peter Millar here at all. So that surprises me. I also do very well with Viore in men's. Let me see if they have Viore. They don't have Viore. And I do very well with men's Viore on eBay and Poshmark. Tommy Hilfiger. What other brand in men's do I do well with? Tommy Hilfiger I could do well with. Okay, so let's move on to Mercari. And I did want to mention this because, again, there are a lot of people who are either thinking about selling on Mercari or already do sell on Mercari. You all know from my previous, if you haven't watched my What Sells video yet for this week, please go back and watch that. I do talk about Mercari a little bit. I do actually sell when I list on Mercari, I do make sales on Mercari. It is definitely one of my good selling platforms. So that's why I haven't completely eliminated it. I do explain on my What Sells video what I specify in Mercari as far as my sales. So do feel free to go watch that. Okay, so Mercari. Top selling, they do toys, action figures. I'm not going to go through all that. Again, I'm going to link this down below for y'all to see. So you can see all this. I'm going to get down to clothing. Men's category, jeans, Levi's, True Religion. See, that's another one I'm surprised wasn't on eBay. True Religion, Wrangler, American Eagle. Again, this is Mercari, guys. Levi's, Lucky Brand, Hollister, Boot Cut. Doesn't surprise me. Boot Cut is really big right now. Wide leg and boot cut. BKE, American Eagle, Wrangler. This is men's, guys. Carhartt. So these are definitely things to be looking out for in men's items. If you want to expand out into Mercari, these are some good options for y'all. If you want to expand out into men's, what sells well, because I did mention this in my What Sold video. Again, guys, watch the What Sold. If you're not doing men's clothes, there are some great men's pieces, guys, plus size, that you can do very well in sales with in men's. And not just plus size. They're telling you brands that do well on Mercari. Windbreakers, Nike, Adidas, jackets, vests, Patagonia, Carhartt. Does not surprise me. Fleece, puffer jackets, tops, button down, Ralph Lauren, Polo by Ralph Lauren. Polo shirts. I do well in men's polo shirts when they're priced right. Dress shirts. This is interesting. Dress shirts, Express, which is what some people steer away from. Polo Ralph Lauren, Van Heusen, Burberry, and Ralph Lauren. So the ones that surprise me are Express and Van Heusen. This is on Mercari, guys, for dress shirts for men. Sweatshirts, pretty much a lot of the same. Lululemon, Under Armour. Under Armour is also definitely a big one on any platform. Okay, home, bedding. I'm not going to go through those. You guys can look at those yourselves. Did they have a women's? Maybe I passed over the women's. Category men's, women's. Did I pass over the women's? I did. Okay, women's. Nike, Vans, Converse, Tory Burch, Crocs, Nike, Michael Kors. Those are sandals. This is Mercari, guys, for women's. Boots, UGG. Boots, I've sold some UGGs on Mercari. They did very well. Sorel, Hunter, Timberland. So guys, again, if you haven't expanded out into Mercari as another option for selling and you're looking for some more options outside of eBay, if you like Poshmark but you don't want to do eBay, try Mercari. If you like eBay don't want to do Poshmark, try Mercari. It is a great place to sell, guys. If you can figure out what you want to do for your own shipping and fine tune that, hone that, Mercari can be a great place. Slippers, UGG, Victoria's Secret, Deer Foams, Disney, Vionics, heels, it talks about heels, athletic wear, Lululemon, Gymshark, Under Armour. Again, probably have to have a price. Your items on Mercari are not going to sell for as high as Poshmark, but keep in mind Mercari is only like 11 or 13% fee. They're low like eBay. And they don't charge you to do like the promoting and all that. When you sell on Mercari, they charge you the fee. I think it's like 30 cents per item. And then it's like a 10 or 11 cent fee. So the fees on Mercari are very low. So you don't have to list your items as high on Mercari. Most of my items that I list on Poshmark and eBay, I tweak my Mercari pricing because it sells better at a lower price. And again, I'm not paying a higher fee. You don't have to promote, do all that. You don't have to include your shipping and all that. So just another option, you guys. Jackets, Lululemon's mentioned quite a bit. Shark, Fabletics can sell pink. Lularoe pants, which surprises me because I don't ever sell Lularoe at all. I was talking to my husband about that just the other day. And they talk about handbags, blouses. Torrid. Guys, I think Torrid sells well anywhere. Lululemon, Brandy Melville, Free People, pink. Button-down shirts. American Eagle, Express, Old Navy, J. Crew, Ralph Lauren. T-shirts, pink, Disney. T-shirts is definitely a great one to sell on Mercari and eBay, guys. If you have it listed at like $15 or $12 for T-shirts, if your COG is low enough, you can sell T-shirts very well and make good profit. If your COG is like $1 or $2 on T-shirts, you can definitely do well on T-shirts in my opinion, on eBay and Mercari, because again, their selling fees are so low, and you can list it for $12 or $15. If your COG is 1 or 2, you're going to double, triple your money on T-shirts. So I think T-shirts is a great option for Mercari and eBay. Zara, Free People, Express, Shein. I don't sell Shein. That's just a personal preference. And jewelry. Jewelry can do very well on Mercari, guys. When I sold a lot of jewelry before, I think my prices were too high, so I have been doing some reevaluating on my prices, and I did that based on another reseller. So I've been reevaluating that. But jewelry can do very well on Mercari if your COG, again, is very low. You buy good quality, just fashion jewelry. I'm not talking about expensive brands. I'm talking about fashion jewelry that you can get a really, really low COG for like maybe $1 or $2, maybe $3 at the most. And turn around and flip it for $10, $15. You can do very well with jewelry if it's new with tags. And the jewelry I pick up, the only jewelry that I pick up is new with tags. I've never purchased pre-owned jewelry. So if you do pre-owned jewelry and your COG is low, I know Lavender Clothesline does pre-owned jewelry on eBay, and she can do well with it. She's also very mindful of her COG and the brand. So again, eBay is another place that you can do well with that. I'm thinking maybe $10, $12 depending on the piece. But again, your COG has to be low, like $2, $3, $4. Sell it for $15, $20 depending on the piece. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm going to link this below. Let's move on to the next one because I don't want this video to be too long for y'all. Okay, now this was based on a blog that I found. Again, I will link it below. This is now Poshmark. Now, Poshmark might be a little bit different for some people. Best women's brands to sell on Poshmark. This really kind of fascinated me. Amazon. Sales were up more than 700% on Poshmark 2022 for Amazon. I'm thinking this is Amazon pieces. Does that surprise you guys too? I haven't typically purchased an Amazon box with fashion because I didn't think it would do well. But now I'm kind of wondering. Again, this is based on somebody else's blog. Okay, so number 2, On Running. I don't know what that brand is. Tell me in the comments below if you've heard of that brand before. Lucy in the Sky. That's another completely new brand to me. Farm Rio. Michael Kors. We already know that does well. Aritzia. I don't find Aritzia pieces anywhere near me at all. If I get it, it's in a box or maybe through another reseller. COS, C-O-S, that's another new brand to me. Birkenstocks. Now, in this article, they have a couple things crossed out, and Birkenstocks is one of them. I don't know why it's crossed out. Abercrombie & Fitch. I do think Abercrombie & Fitch can sell, but it's not going to sell high. So if you have it, you have to have a really low COG. I have a lot of Abercrombie & Fitch from an Helpsy source box. I think I need to reduce my prices. My COG is like $250 or something like that. So maybe looking at selling it for just like $15 on Poshmark and Mercari. Even Abercrombie & Fitch was mentioned on eBay. So maybe I just really do have it listed too high. Top categories: hair tools, bodysuits, pantsuits, travel bags. Straight jeans. I do think that skinny jeans is kind of going out. I know some people still sell skinny jeans. I do still see people wearing skinny jeans. But as far as sales, when I see people doing what's sold, they're not selling skinny jeans. They're selling wide leg and boot cut. Mules and clogs, teddy jackets, crop tops, puffer jackets. Top selling substantial pieces driven by brands. Kayana, I've never heard that before. Beja, Rothy's, Columbia, Patagonia. Again, they have crossed out. I don't know why, because Patagonia, I think, honestly, no matter what the Patagonia piece is, it can sell if it's priced right. Nike, Everlane. Again, my Everlane is just sitting. I think Fisher actually sells better than my Everlane does, which is kind of weird. Because Everlane was supposed to have been this like really top-notch brand. Reformation. I don't have a lot of Reformation pieces right now. Okay, this is men's. Fiore, again, that does very well for me. Hey Dude, Marine Layer, Pendleton, Brooks Brothers, Ella Bean. Now, I have not had a lot of Ella Bean, or what's the other brand that I've recently added more of? Ella Bean and I can't think of it. Okay, now see, they mentioned Peter Millar. Peter Millar always does well for me. New Balance. So yeah, I've been adding more Ella Bean and men's pieces. Now it's going to bug me. I can't think of that brand. Okay, top categories, sunglasses, cargo pants, which doesn't surprise me. Cowboy and western boots, military and field jackets, suit jackets, that does surprise me. Jerseys, sweatshirts and hoodies, sneakers, and relaxed fit jeans for men. Okay, top kids selling brands on Poshmark. Kite Baby, KYTE, never heard of that before. Pokemon, Bonnie and Jean, Riley and Crew. Okay, I've sold kids items on Poshmark and none of those brands are things that I've sold, so I'm not sure where that's coming from. Top brands for stuff categories, you guys can do that yourself. Home categories, you guys can look at that yourselves. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys. I know for me this was very informative because like I said, I have some of these brands listed on certain platforms and not moving. I think for me it's my price bracket. So I'm definitely going to be going through and doing some tweaking. And thinking about some of these other brands that I have steered away from that maybe I need to rethink. And again, I steered away from, maybe I was pricing them too high, that they weren't selling or something like that. Ella Bean, like I said, is definitely one that I'm going to be adding more to for myself, for men and women. I actually have some boxes coming from Helpsy Source that I'm excited to be doing some unboxings on. Again, I've already started prepping for fall, guys. I've got some fall stuff coming, and I'm very excited about it. I'm hoping it does well. And they're brands, they were brand specific, so stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe and hit the bell notification because I've got some unboxings coming up for fall pieces, guys. And I'm really excited because I'm trying some things out that I've never done before. So do stay tuned for those. I hope this was a help to you guys. I know it's always a help to me doing this research. And I love sharing what I learned from them. Again, the Patagonia lawsuit, listing burnout, organizing our office space so that we're fresh when we come in, and just kind of keeping things organized and fresh, and just when you walk into your workspace, you actually feel like you're ready to work, and it's not like, oh my gosh, it's so busy in here, it's so cluttered. I think I need to reorganize my office space more frequently. And then brands that do well on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Guys, again, do feel free to subscribe if these videos content that I put out are a help and a benefit to you. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great one.